Hello, Holistic Chamber of Commerce family. Welcome today to today's Meet a Member session with Dr. Mary Olodun. And she is welcoming us all the way from Hawaii. And I'm completely jealous because I'm here freezing in Maryland. So, what a beautiful background and environment we have to speak with Dr. Mary today. So, just real quick, she's going to talk about how naturopathy can heal any type of disease. So, Dr. Mary is a naturopathic doctor with only over 20 years of experience in the natural health consultation field. Her company, Trilera Holistic Care, offers an affordable holistic approach to healing through simple plant based nutritional instructions. And in most cases, she gets her clients immediate results. So, welcome, Dr. Mary.
Thank you so much, Laura. I appreciate being here. Thank you so much for having me.
So let's start with how you got into what you're doing, because I think you have a military background. So that's like quite a leap.
True. It is. It is. Thanks. And it's interesting because my story is probably not unlike so many people who come into the healthcare field. I was, as a child, growing up on the south side of Chicago, single family home. Um, what you would call a sickly child. And now that I am working on the certification in homeopathy, I've learned that there's a name for kids like me. It's called slecia. We're kids who are missing certain elements in our diet that actually lends itself to a low immune system. And so I caught everything. And I was raised by a lady who was born in the 30s and 40s. And so she was born before there was a such thing as processed foods. And so they had no clue allowing me to eat so much candy, so much sugar, and so much drink, so much milk would have such a profound effect on my health. So fast forward, having so many nurses and doctors that I used to see lending themselves to helping me to feel better actually inspired me, and it just rose, a passion rose inside of me, wanting other people to feel good in their health and wanting other people to have the type of wellness that I discovered along my journey. And so I started as a nurse, and that's why I did what I did.
Ah, fascinating. Yeah, a lot of us, like I grew up on the processed food, like in the 70s, and everything was processed. And even my mom was taught, oh, formula is much better than breastfeeding. Give your kids soy crap. So, a lot of us grew up with all of that junk, and it really, impacted our health for sure. Um,
Exactly.
so I know people have heard of like naturopathic doctors, but really, what makes you different than like, say, maybe more conventional doctors?
Absolutely, absolutely. Allopathic doctors or medical doctors, the folks who I learned the foundation of what I do with as a nurse, are also doing what they're doing to help people to heal. What they may or may not discover in their practice, the way it was revealed to me, I think by Mother Earth, is they're in a system created not to make people well, but to maintain people's sickness. And because of that, the only thing they know is how to dose medications unless they extend themselves into functional medicine. Some doctors are doing homeopathy. Some doctors do their two practices. They practice medicine in the morning and they do natural stuff at night when they really figure this out. But it was a huge discovery for me in my 30s when I literally said, wait a minute, how can we be number three in medical innovation in the world and be number 38 in terms of everyone's wellness in America is ridiculous. And then I realized, oh, it's not ridiculous. It's a system. It's a system built to make some people rich and other
Money.
people, the worker bees, poor and sick and maintain the sickness. So I, hear story after story of people who are saying I was on 17 medications and I was on 20 medications a day. I wasn't feeling any better. I didn't understand. It was just a fishbowl effect until I learned what natural medicine could do. And really, it was going back to what my grandmother used to do for us when they would come outside, pick some roots off the tree or some stems or some leaves, boil it, give it to us as we didn't know it was an antipyretic, but it would take the fever down. We felt better. We were able to go outside and play. Natural medicine, naturopathy is the study of natural health. So a lot of us receive 4-year education. We have to learn what medical doctors understand in terms of biology, but we get hours and hours and hours of nutritional healthcare education, whereas most doctors are lucky if they can get 8 hours of it. We get it's courses for us. Plus, we learn Eastern medicine. Many of us will go ahead and specialize in acupuncture or iridology or something of that such. But it's education and then more education to help people to learn how to heal naturally, to do what grandmama used to do.
So are you working mostly like through whole foods and herbs and like supplements and those kinds of things?
Absolutely, that's the foundation. So the foundation of all of the practices that I do and teach others is learning how to live with the healthiest practices in your everyday life. That's number one. So cleaning the gut and detoxifying the body on a constant. The drink I'm drinking right now, for instance, early in the morning here in Hawaii, is a liver detox tea mixed with one of the herbal teas that does a plethora of other antioxidant type of actions in the body. But learning to, and I'm following the sun, learning to actually to do that, but also I specialize in enzymatic therapy. So I help the body to respond instead of giving them medications that's mixed with toxicities. I'm giving the body what it knows already because we're made of enzymes. Enzymes are on fruits and vegetables, and we have a school that a system that customizes the enzymes with herbs to help to do the job. Plus, I work with peptides. A nice Russian doctors discovered that we could take peptides and we can help to recreate stem cells in our own body healthy and without any kind of side effects to help the body to heal. And then I do homeopathy, which is a whole system by itself, but it's using different herbs diluted at a very high rate to help the body absorb it without side effects. So I work with all of those medicinals and some other innovative tools.
So do you use like special kind of testing to see where people are then?
I do two types of testing. So one is in office, I have something called Zyto, and it actually scans the body and does a biometric assessment of the body. So it actually captures the language from the body. Similar, and I hate to put it this way because it's kind of negative, but people understand it better. It's similar to a lie detector test. It picks up on what the biorhythms are telling us in the body, and then it spits out a full 26-page report telling me everything down to if it's mercury bothering this person or if this person actually can't digest their lipids, and it tells me what actions to take. I also couple that sometimes if we really need to hone in on something and we're not 100% sure, I could do blood tests as well.
Hmm. I'm a big fan of testing. I feel like that we need to know what we're dealing with rather than just like throwing spaghetti at the wall. And I think that's where the benefit of working with someone like you lies, in that you can do the testing, you know exactly what's going on. So now we can establish a protocol versus, like these DIY things. Oh, I think I have leaky gut, so I'm just going to take these herbs and, they're supposed to heal. It's like, but you don't really know what's going
What
on.
you need. That's right, Laura.
Right.
That's right. And when I was in the military, I did 30 years. I served and I retired as a lieutenant colonel. But and I didn't do any health medicine, and I literally had to go to school for like 13 years to finish what I was able to do, what I'm able to do now. But during that time, I would hear people go from the extreme. They would say, oh, they're on Tylenol every day, ibuprofen. Oh, but my wife, went out and told me that ginger does this. So I just been drinking ginger every day. And I'm like, okay, but it's an anti-inflammatory, but you probably got some gut issues going on too that need to be addressed. And it's so funny because I couldn't take this out of me. And I remember something that's crazy. The woman right now, God bless her. I mean, right now, this lady is the very first female who commands the Army Reserve. But She was my last senior rater, and I remember going into her office, and she was just supposed to meet with me, give me some guidance, send me on my way. But we end up sitting there talking about her health problems because I was like, "Ma'am, I'm getting out. I'm going to do this full time." And we're just talking, and before you know it, she was like, "Oh, I want you to come back up here and tell me more about this." And it's one of those things where I could not be myself. So people learn to come to me and what do I do for this or what did I do for that? I keep stuff in my drawer, put this on it, do that quick reaction. But to your point, nothing's going to beat sitting down and actually working with professionals in the healthcare field like me, the well care field, if you will. I like to call it well care, the well care field, and helping you to pinpoint what your problem is and developing a plan customized just for you. That's exactly right.
I can appreciate that you have like the nursing background, which is more, of like the allopathic medicine, and then also this, because I do believe that there is a place for conventional, like life-saving medication. I do believe that we can both can coexist in a harmonious way, but you need somebody to help you understand that if you are taking like more pharmaceutical meds, you also need to be careful of interactions with things. People will be taking pharmaceuticals and they're like, oh, I'm going to be taking this herbal remedy too, but you really do have to be cautious and know what you're doing.
Oh Lord, you said it all right there. Absolutely, positively. I first of all, if I'm in a car accident and you start throwing hyssop on me, you better hope I can't punch you. Okay, get me to an emergency room. That's what we do well in this country. We are emergent care. Okay, we do that well, and we diagnose pretty well. I mean, things are changing as of late, but we do a pretty good job of pinpointing. Here's why. And I would often tell first of all, I want America to know that you own your own health. If you don't like your doctor, don't work with them. Go out there and find people that have your values and your beliefs and are willing to work with you. I would tell my doctors, I'll say, hey, got it. I appreciate that. Thank you for the report. Thank you for the test. I'm going to explore some other avenues to remedy this. And I would literally sit up there and I end up, well, because they found that I was educated, I would have those discussions with them and they would ask me how to do this or how to do that, or can I send people to you? And I'm like, absolutely, so we need to work scaling. That's the way I look at it. Go from the least to the most. If I can't help you doing stuff that will not counteract or will not cause the body any harm, first law of Hippocrates, then you can go to your other doctors and let them try. But let's go from the least impactful to the most, right? So that makes sense. And I would love to do integrated medicine. And that's kind of what we've developed where I currently am in Bluffton, South Carolina, with Bluffton Family Chiropractic.
Mm-hmm. So for someone to work with you, do they have to come to your office or can you work with people online as well?
I do telewellness as well.
Okay.
Yes. Today, I don't think we can do well in our current market without it, right?
Exactly. But like in some sense, like chiropractic work, just since you brought it up, I mean, a lot of it's like physical, hands-on. So you are sometimes limited by that. I just
Yes.
wasn't sure. But if people are watching and they're interested in working with you, but they don't live, near you, I just wanted to see if you were able to work with them.
Yes. 25% of my clientele are telewellness people.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So do you do like mostly one-on-ones? Do you do like group educational things? How do you work with people?
Both. So I do one-on-ones because I tell people, think of me like your natural primary care. So when you have a problem developing, you come to me and then I say, okay, let's figure out a plan. And we know, give me about 3 months. If we can't see this turnaround for you, then we can elevate it, right? We'll get your primary care involved and see how we can get you where you want to go. But I also have a lot of local people who have group therapy and they want to have me come on board. I do speeches different places just to teach. Lately, I had one of the RNs call me who's with the breast cancer center of Bluffton, and she said, our people are asking for a holistic doctor. We can't find, I mean, you're the only one in our area. Are you willing to come talk to our ladies? I'm like, absolutely. So I try not to turn any of it down because really at the base and the foundation of what we do, Laura, is education. So if I'm not an educator and I'm not willing to talk to groups of people, then I've already lost the battle, right?
Mm. Yeah, wow. Well, thank you like for your passion in doing what you do, because I think the more of us that are out there that can educate on, and also prevention too, not just like wait until you get sick. How about, prevention, and a lot of what you do, I can guess is prevention. Once you maybe
Absolutely.
solve a problem, okay, but let's do this because I can see we're kind of going down this rabbit hole and it may not be pretty. So
That's right. That's right. So if I could get to them while they're young. So this summer, I'm doing some programs with people to really work with the youth so that they can learn this early in life. Because I tell my daughter all the time, I'm like, baby, an ounce of prevention is still worth a pound of cure. Can you just not drink that soda when you go to school? Because I don't buy it. So, I know if she could sneak it in, she's gonna do that. I mean, they're children. That's what they do. They explore. I said, but every time you do that, your immunity takes a hit. And then when you get sick, mommy has to pour in a lot of homeopathy to get you turned around. I was like, girl, please. So, teaching them while they, but my daughter, here's the thing. We went to Whole Foods yesterday and she said, oh, mom, I got seaweed. Can I get some? Absolutely. To have a child who knows, I want to snack on seaweed. Oh, no, mommy, I got to have some water. I haven't had enough water today. Can I get, and just when she's passing the fruit bowl, she's eating fruit. She had fruit for breakfast yesterday. That's to me worth a million. I was 100% the opposite as a child.
Mhm.
So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, that's great, teaching habits early on. All right. So if someone wants to get in touch with you to maybe have a conversation or learn more,
Mhm.
where can they go?
Absolutely. I do free consultations, 15-minute consultations with anyone who signs up. They need to go to www.trileraHolisticCare.com. That's www.trilera holistic, holistic care.com. So care, CARE, right? .com. And
Okay.
I'll be glad to help you. I'm looking forward to talking to each and every one of you. I want to see you healed.
Awesome. All right. I'm like just looking and making sure I'm spelling that. I just put the URL in the comment section here. So whatever platform you're watching on, you should get that. But I'm like, did I spell that right? I think I
Thank you,
did.
Laura. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much, Dr. Mary, for joining us today, all the way from Hawaii while you're on your vacation. So enjoy the rest of your vacation. Thanks for being with us today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and happy holidays.
Thank you for having me, Laura. And I look forward to being a blessing to anyone who wants to connect with TrileraHolisticCare.com. Thanks again. Happy holidays.